Okay. Hi, this is Don. This is Pearls of Liberty for September 8th, Sunday, the day after Constitution Day. And we are celebrating in the beautiful state of Michigan. We do see some chemtrails overhead as we drive along. It had been beautiful natural clouds the day before, but looks like for whatever reason somebody decided to aerosol spray us. But we've got a few news items to report to you today. I typically read Joel Skousen's World Affairs Brief to get his idea of what's important, and find myself very much on the same page with Mr. Skousen. I recommend the World Affairs Brief. And one of the things that's been in the news recently is the Europe potential collapse of their economic system. And I agree with Joel Skousen that this is not going to happen in one big crash, and it's not going to be one catastrophic event, but it's going to be a slowly milked crisis that's going to bring in the New World Order. The guys that constructed the European Union, financial union currency, they're not going to let that thing fall apart, and they've got a lot of tricks up their sleeves. And the same with the dollar. What he points out is what you don't hear anywhere else, at least I don't, that there is so much liquidity in the system. There are so many dollars out there in the whole world. This has been the world reserve currency for so long. That's not going to change overnight. That is basically a huge amount of stability. In order to get the hyperinflation that some people are talking about, typically Austrian economists throw around the term hyperinflation, you would have to see huge amounts of increases in currency, with trillions and trillions more, hundreds of trillions being created in a short period of time. But that's not happening. And I'm not saying there's not financial problems. I'm just saying this thing is a slow burn. This thing is not going to be a flashpoint overnight. It's all designed that way so the controllers can control it. I don't think that it's totally out of their control. There are things that they can't control, but they've constructed the system, and they know how to manipulate people to bring things about. So that is the bit on the European currency. Also, on a happy note, Ron Paul just won the California straw poll. That's exciting news.
Everybody knows Ron Paul can't win.
Ah! Uh-oh, he just won the California straw poll by getting more votes than Romney and Perry combined. I think Mitt Romney was down to 8% in California. Not a very popular guy in California, and Rick Perry had something like 23 or 4%. So Ron Paul's up in the high 40s, and he's looking very good. People are catching on. This is really encouraging. It doesn't mean that the problems will be fixed overnight, but people are beginning to see that liberty is the real issue. And I'm believing that people are attracted to Ron Paul more for the liberty reasons than for the belief that he has the economic solutions. They know he's got some economic common sense, but they also are really starting to see, I think people are starting to see, that we've gone way too far down the road to 1984, and people want to put the brakes on. So TSA in football games, I guess there's a big push in the NFL to get them to buy into having these ankle-up strip searches, or pat downs, not strip searches, but pat downs at NFL games. And people like Bob Chapman, I agree with him, saying, boycott, don't allow yourself to go down that road, America. Refuse to attend a football game before you ever submit to that kind of stuff.
You know, what if that's ultimately what they're trying to do, though? Make it so that Americans stay at home and don't go out?
Well, that is the constant tension, is that they do ultimately want to clamp us down into tightly controlled areas, and with this Agenda 21, and make it impossible to travel. So the non-cooperation, civil disobedience stuff needs to be smart. We need to, at some point, just do what we want to do and forget about what they're trying to do. And then things will get pretty serious then. So I definitely think that the travel, and if they ever start doing checkpoints on a lot of major roads, I know they're doing them sporadically, but if we get more checkpoints and people start saying, I'm not going to travel, well, that's a problem. I don't think we want to give up our right to travel. We need to be smart about how we resist. Let's see, what else have we got? What else happened this week? We were off enjoying a wonderful vacation in a cabin away from the civilization, although we had neighbors and we saw people on the lake, and went out to eat a couple nights at a very popular restaurant on the lake. It was great to be away from the general hustle and bustle of civilization, and just seeing how many people there are in northern Michigan that are really, part of their life is the great outdoors, and I can't see these kind of Americans being herded into cities anytime soon, so that's encouraging. Maybe that's all I've got for this week. And in the background there you see Carrie. She's a Liberty lover. Anything to say, Carrie?
Not today.
I tell you, when you have a little baby boy, you start thinking about these things and don't want to leave our country in some kind of a state like Nazi Germany where people don't have any freedom. Okay, that's it for Pearls of Liberty this week. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you next week.